Nikita McElroy live all the way from Hawaii. Nagbakal-bakal ako.
Aloha! Ano, sabi ko, kinakabahan si Ada, may pageant. Wow. Tingnan ko pala muna yung beauty queen mode para may poise and grace and elegance para walang masabi ang mga attaché. Charot.
Yeah, but I miss you. I'm so happy to have you.
Oh my God!
I'm really happy to be having this conversation with you after 6 months, remember, with
Oh
April.
my
So,
God, yes! Ang tagal. That was 6 months ago. It feels so long.
yes, kasagsagan ng Black Lives Matter. Yeah. Was
Oh,
it
yes.
5 months ago? Yeah, 6 months ago, June, I think.
Tama,
Yeah.
yeah.
And a lot has changed since
Super.
then.
So much.
Diba?
It's crazy. It's crazy how, like, looking back, I was like, sino yun? Sino ka, girl?
But first of all, congratulations on almost
Thank you.
winning Miss Hawaii USA. So how do you feel? That was so close. I thought you would really get it. How are you feeling right now, girl?
Nakakapanghina. I mean, oh my God, whoever's watching this, please forgive me, Lord. I mean, you know, being first runner up is a great achievement, and I don't want to sound ungrateful or anything, but you know, this is my final eligible year, and to be that close, it stings a little bit more. Like, it's okay if I, you know, if I had another year or like if magets pa ako, but because I'm 27 and it's the final year to compete for Miss US, means a state pageant to go to Miss USA, it just hurts. I'm still like decompressing and processing everything. Medyo hesitant pa nga ako at first to do an interview because like in my head, nako, baka magmukhang bitter ka sa interview. Tapos sabi ko, hindi. I think by that time, I'll be fine. Like, I'm surrounded with so much love and support. It's crazy. Like, I looked at my phone after the pageant and I was just like, 200 plus messages. I was like, Lord, paano? And it's insane, and I think it's the love and support that's keeping me positive and like, you know, a little bit happy. You know, malungkot pa rin kasi ang lapit na. I mean, if you watch the video again, there was two of us and I was just there standing. Dasal lang ako ng dasal. I was just saying, Miss Hawaii USA 2021, Miss Hawaii USA 2021. And then the host calls my name as first runner up. Parang ako, nanigas talaga ako.
Ibigay mo na sa akin. Ibigay mo na sa...
Yes! And like, in my God, give it to me. Like, 3 years! 3 years! But then, you know, Deshauna joined her state pageant 6 or 7 times. But, you know, third time's a charm. But then again, if it's not for you, you can't compete with destiny and all that. But I'm feeling better now. Slowly
Huwag ka
but
pa naman
surely.
magsalita, no, na hindi pa tapos. Wait, let me ask. You just turned 27 this year or you're about to turn 28 this year?
I just turned 27 this year, September.
Oh, pwede pa! Pwede pa!
Pwede pa, no?
Girl, wait, ano ba? Wait, let me Google. Ano ba yung technicality ng age limit ng Miss Universe? 'Di ba? Until
Okay,
28,
so
you're not supposed
you
to turn
can't
28.
you have to be under 28 when you join your state pageant.
Oh.
You can't be over 28 when you join Miss USA. Tapos pagdating sa universe, you can't be 29 or you can't be over 29.
Wait, when is your birthday pa?
September 20. So like in terms of Miss Hawaii, hindi na pasok kasi by the time I turned 28, hindi pa na Miss Hawaii. So Miss Hawaii is usually November. So I can't do it anymore when I'm 28.
No, you just said you can still join before.
You have to be under 28.
Under 20. When is Miss Hawaii? When is
November. My birthday ko September.
Oh, birthday mo September. So
yeah, doon ako sasabit. Kaya like the other option was to like most women do, like Mia and Olivia Jordan. They did this in the past, and a lot of other Miss USA's do. They state hop where like for me, you could join two states in 1 year. Yun na yung max ng Miss Universe, Miss USA organization. Like you could, and that's a new rule actually, where you could do two states in 1 year in case you don't win on the first state. So it's playing in my head, like the idea is there. Why don't you state hub? And then like in my head,
Yes!
girl, oh, pera na naman. Oh my God, ang gastos ka naman ng pageant sa US. But if it's your dream, then go ahead. But like, yes, that there is that idea is in my head. Maybe we're still contemplating which state would be best because I have to live there. And if I'm gonna represent that state, I mean I have to be there. So parang ang process naman. Hindi tulad sa atin na parang, yeah, I'm from Davao, but I can live in Manila. Like here, you have to be actually living in Davao to compete for the Davao City title. So we'll see.
Pero, so paano yun? So if you decide to go state hopping, you have to live first in that state before
Yeah,
you
because you need to have residency. You need to meet the residency requirements before you needed like a year to be considered a resident. Ngayon, I think Miss USA became a little bit more nicer. They did 3 months. As long as you meet the 3 months before the pageant, you're done. Like you're okay.
you're good to
So
go. Yeah.
I was thinking of like going to Nevada because my mom lives in Vegas and it'll be nice. Although it's also a competitive state because a lot of the
Yes.
California girls go to Nevada and I'm just like,
Uh,
well, girl, good luck kung mag-Nevada ka. But so we'll see. Or
ano
Seattle,
ba yung mga
Washington.
non-competitive ano ba yung mga non-competitive states like Wyoming, Delaware,
Yeah, Nebraska, yung mga
Nebraska?
pang-redneck. Diyos ko,
Oh my
Lord!
God! Sige na, 3 months lang naman
Alis
eh.
sila. Oh, pero girl, pag nanalo kasi, isang taon ako titira doon. Baka maloka
Girl,
mga pulis sa akin. Charot.
girl, mabilis lang ang isang taon. I'm sure alam
That
mo
is
yan.
so
Tignan mo nga,
true.
nung pandemic
I
ka,
mean,
March na
three
tignan mo.
years. Yeah. I made it 3 years in Hawaii. I mean, who would have thought? It was all, like, I think that first year when I moved here, it was just all so different because it just aligned. So happened that I went back for a vacation and then I said, "Oh, I'm gonna move here." And then at the same time, I decided to join Miss Hawaii. So parang nasa isip ko, baka ito na yung calling ko. Calling 3 years later, first runner up. Yeah.
At least you tried, di ba? Pero
Oh yes, yes.
you tried, di ba? Kaysa naman sa you will end up regretting na, "Ay, I should have done this, di ba? At least pag lola ka na, di ba? At least sasabihin mo sa mga grandkids mo, at least ang lola nyo, kumompete pa rin, sinuong ang risk and odds kahit na may pandemya.
Quarantine queen.
Di ba? Quarantine queen. Di ba?
Yes.
So what was your reaction of your parents when when they watched and they saw that you almost won the title?
Actually haven't talked to my mom nor my dad, not even my family in the Philippines. I avoided talking to them because I know I will feel more emotional and just feel a lot more like disappointed and sad, which I shouldn't be, because first runner up is an amazing achievement. Like it's so hard to go down the top two, like the final two, and especially
Exactly.
the caliber of the girls this year. I think I was telling Voltaire and some of my friends that the advantage I think of the pandemic for anyone competing in a pageant right now, we have so much free time, and then which means that free time we use to prepare. That's why, like, let's say example, Miss Universe Philippines, a lot
Yes.
of girls bubbled up after all the delays, 'di ba? Dapat
Oo.
originally June yung
May.
coronation, tapos naging
May.
yeah, May na naging July, tapos naging October. And I think because of that delay, the girls who felt like they weren't like on top or competitive enough had enough time to prepare, and hence the front runners also had more time to better themselves, which I guess may mga surprising results and all that. And the same with us. Like I think originally November dapat yung pageant namin na naging December, that 1 month extension really changed the game. Even for me, oh God, nagkaroon pa ako ng extra training last minute, and I was just like, and I think that's the difference when I went from being top 10 to nothing to first runner up.
'Di ba? So, ang dami nakikita ko nga ang dami mong nagawa para sa sarili mo. As you said in your profile na you took up online classes as well, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Kasi because you got so much free time now. So, paano yun? So, wala ka ng work ngayon. Wala ka ng work ngayon, so you went back, you're currently back in online schooling.
Mm-hmm.
And
well,
then
technically, I still have work. I'm still employed. It's just that because the state is highly reliant on tourism, and there's nothing going on right now. So our store is open, but we haven't. Foot traffic is not that heavy, so parang it's useless to have so much people working. Actually am going back to work this week. We opened up the beginning of December 1st. Tapos sabi ko lang, give me 2 weeks, tapusin ko lang tong Miss Hawaii, and then I'll go back to work. And they were actually, my bosses and my managers were like all worried that I wouldn't go back to work. Because they were like, ay nako, pag nanalo si Nikita, hindi na babalik yan. Sabi ko, babalik pa din naman ako. May bills pa din naman ako, ma'am.
Pero I'm glad that they were so supportive of you. They were so supportive
super.
of you
Oh
during
my
your
God.
competition.
Oh my God. And throughout last year, so the thing with Miss Hawaii, we have to sell like ad pages for the program book.
Yes.
And every girl has to do a minimum of 2. And I parang jahe, but I asked my like the owner or like CEO of the company, and because he's very like personable and he's hands on, so like I see him at work all the time. So I emailed him, and then he was like, I would love to support you. You're like the daughter that I never had. You're like in my head, oh my God. And ever since day one, he's been very super nice. Talagang the culture at work is really good. Where it feels like family, that's why I didn't want to leave my job. And in my head, win or lose, I'm gonna stay with Dean and DeLuca. The culture is really nice, and I think it's not only the culture; it's basically the people I work with and my bosses who really makes it worthwhile to be there. And kasi kahit mag-overtime, wala pakialam, parang nasa isip ko, they'll take care of it. They'll understand in case, like, I mean, I'm not a perfect employee, but they love and support me. And last year, they even went to watch the pageant and was screaming, made posters. Ay, nako, nakakatuwa. Grabe. Nakakaloka talaga. Swerte lang. But then I think they were really trying to communicate and keep us on the loop for so long because they didn't want to lose us, because it's so hard to find a good worker or a good employee, and it's just super hard to train people in food and beverage industry. So yeah, they really try to keep us all together, and minsan nag-get together. Well, during the summertime, we would try and go to the beach and meet up, and then social distance naman, have our mini get together at least para alam namin buhay pa pala si ganito, buhay pa pala si ganyan.
That's nice. That's nice. I love Dean DeLuca, pero hearing you make kwento about how they have been supportive of you at this time, wow, I want to even patronize the restaurant even more. Because when I go to the States, I always go for coffee there. So Dean and DeLuca.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So for those people who don't know you now, who don't know you that well, this was competing in Miss Hawaii USA. This year was your third and final attempt to get to the MUO Miss USA system. So how were you able to? Can you tell us the difference? What made you pick this time? Kasi you almost won eh. Kasi on your first try, you how
top
which
10.
place did you get? Top 10. Second try, top 10, then ulit.
Now, last year, thank you, girl. I was just filling time and space.
Oh, okay.
Last year. Parang ganito nga yung graph eh. First year, top 10. Last year nga. Tapos this year, first runner. Parang, anong nangyari? It went from 0 to 100.
that was a huge redemption for you, diba? So
Oh yes. Oh my
what made the
God.
difference this time around? What do you think?
I think I I think I grew as a person. And my perspective, my mindset was very different from the first year into last year. The first year I was overconfident, complacent, and over competitive. Over. Like sumobra. Sumobra ko the first year. I was so worried about how I looked physically, that paandar outfits, the hair and makeup, but I wasn't working internally. I thought I was ready because, I was coming out of the People's Queen show in ABS, and I thought I was equipped with the right tools, but just then I realized, oh, not really. And I realized that after the competition, because like in my head, how can I not be top 10? Do you see this face? But nasa isip ko, of course, I wasn't that confident. Parang nasa isip ko, parang why? It wasn't how I looked physically, but in my head, I was so prepared. So I felt like, why didn't I make the top five? Why just top 10? Like, what's wrong? What's missing? And like that's when I started questioning myself, and I felt more insecure again. And then it was just like, baka dahil may accent ka, or you didn't speak big English words, maybe like stuff like that. I started to question. And then last year, I didn't plan to join, but that's why I got super depressed the first year. And I was, sabi ko, I'm not going to join next year, or I don't think I'm going to join again. It really took a toll on me the first year. Talagang, kung heartbroken ako this year, mas heartbroken ako nung first year. Sobrang sakit. And I was so depressed, I cut my hair short, hence the really wild pixie cut earlier last year. And then that was my go signal to not do pageants anymore. Kasi sabi ko, sino namang magpa-pageant na naka-pixie haircut? Like, I mean, we've seen people do it, but like, we know I'm not gonna be able to win if I have that hair. But time and time again, people have
May
proven me
hair
wrong.
extensions naman eh.
Ay, true. Pero wild kasi yung pixie ko, because I had bangs for like fake mohawk and then like fade on the side. So walang
Ah,
kakapitan. Although I could have worn a wig. I actually wore a wig last year at the beginning of the pageant. Yung, my reason why I joined last year was just like, everyone was just like telling me, why don't you join? You don't want to regret in the future na, you should have joined, or last year could have been your year, but you didn't join. So, mga shoulda, coulda, woulda. And I wanted to I wanted to just join and see where it would take me. And last year, first year, overconfident, complacent, overprepared, whatever, overcompetitive. Last year naman, I could care less about the world. If I win, go, perfect. That's the goal. If not, I still have a job. I'm okay. Life is good. So parang last year, happy-go-lucky, chenes-chenes, tsaka ng interview, kemerut. Kaya nung hindi ako natawag ng top 10, syempre, na-surprise din ako. Parang, ay, ang ganda ng gown ko,
ay,
galing pag Dubai, tapos hindi ako top 10. Totoo ba? And then, but I wasn't sad or depressed. I was like, it's okay. May next year pa. Tapos sabi ko talaga, right after last year, doon ako nag-decide, I'm gonna join again next year. I'm gonna go all in. I'm gonna start preparing now, like body, brain, everything, holistic preparation. So I joined I joined a preliminary competition earlier this year, which was in February. That's how I got my Waikiki title. Because the bigger common Hawaii titles, my preliminary pa yun eh. So I did a small pageant pa noong February before the pandemic started, and I won the Waikiki title. And then from there, I was supposed to start preparing na. I was so ready. I scheduled training already. I hired a coach. Parang I was planning everything accordingly. And I told myself we start working out now. And then hindi pa to super serious, but I want you to be like healthy now. And then by the time 3 months out, yun yung super strict. So I had a specific game plan this year, and everything was outlined accordingly. But when the pandemic happened, and I changed my life, my plans, every single thing. At some point, sabi ko, 1 month lockdown. Pero yan, no time TV, tulog lang tayo, beauty rest. Ganda yan, perfect yan. So that was okay. Tapos naging 2 months. So sabi ko, extended, more tulog, more fun, more TV. Tapos pag-extend na nag-extend, so sabi ko nung summer na, hindi ko na kaya tong extension na to. Baka, sabi ko, hindi na din
Maubusan
kaya
ako
ng
ng
savings
pera
ko.
ko.
Oh, yes. And money, you run out of money even if you get unemployment because you only get so much and you're still paying bills. It's not like your bills pause too. So in my head, I was like, is it smart to still join a competition during this time? And I almost backed out and sabi ko, you know what? Chill muna tayo. We'll take a break from training. Actually, I wasn't even able to start training. So what I did was like, chill, go to the mainland, bakasyon ka muna, figure out things. And then I ended up staying in New York for 2 months. And then I almost withdrew and like from the competition. I literally was telling my mentor, I think I'm gonna drop out because like
Why?
who knows if the pageant is still happening and who has the money to do the pageant. And then again, I have to sell two ad pages, which was like $1,000 per page. So selling 2,000. Tapos I still have to spend money for hair and makeup, for the gown, for everything, na. I mean, pageant stuff.
Magastos. The whole nine
And then
yards,
like in
yes.
my head, yes, in my head, that's at least $5,000. Saan mo pupulutin yun, sis? Benta ka ng kidney? Buy one, take one? Liver? Maybe? So I was just like weighing my pros and cons. But then at the end, I was like, you know what? And my friends really pointed this out. My best friends, actually, they all pointed this out na, girl, 27 ka na. Pag hindi mo ginawa yan, magsisisi ka. Promise. Kilala ka namin eh. And I knew myself. Um, I know that if I don't do it, few months down the line, a year down the line, I'm gonna be like, I should have joined last year. Fudge. Sayang. It could have been my year. So I didn't want to have that feeling as well. And then I'd rather do it than regret not doing it. So ayun, sabi ko, you know what? Bahala na, laban lang. I have 3 more months. I could still do it. That's enough time for me to really put my head in a different mindset, a different perspective, and prepare. Which was true enough. 3 months was just perfect because I feel like if I did more than that, which is okay too, mas lalo siguro akong na-stress or like it would have gotten to my head and it would have turned out differently. So yeah, preparation wise was really different this year. I had a coach, I had mentors, and I was just a different person. I feel like yun talaga yun. I was a different person. I am a different person. Oh, daming
You know, I
English.
love I love what you said. Your perspective mo, you change your whole mindset, you develop a new perspective on your third try. So, alam mo yon, I imagine it was really hard for you to compete on your third attempt. So, you mentioned how hard was it, pero weren't you also bothered by the criticism that went along with it?
You know what? Surprisingly, I haven't had any criticism na, ay, bakit ka pa sumasali? Or why you're still joining? Or give it
Oo.
up or stop. I didn't have that. I think the only criticism I got was from my mom. And she was like, because she saw how heartbroken I was last year too. And she didn't want to see that happen again. So she was like, are you sure you want to join again? Like, she kind of questioned it a little bit. And she was like, if I were you, I wouldn't do it again. It's too stressful. And she saw me stressing in the pageant last year because I flew my mom from Vegas to Hawaii, and I just thought it would be a nice break for my mom to be back here, and then just to see me compete. And I've always wanted my parents to watch me compete. And like in my head, maybe it would be different for me if my mom was here, if my dad was here, and my mom was able to come. So she was there, but like internet wise, I mean, maybe there were some people who said like stop joining, but luckily I never saw it. I never read any of those comments. And honestly, for me, the more you try and bring me down, I'm just like, watch and learn. I will defy odds. True enough, Chris runner up. So
Saan mo nakukuha yung ano mo, yung lakas ng loob mo to persevere, to go through the distance despite the odds? Is it an American thing
I don't
na
think it's an
talagang
American thing. I think it's a Filipino thing. I think I I believe every Filipino is just like resilient in a way. For me, I think it's also being raised by my grandparents in Davao. They taught me to be strong, to fight for myself. Yung, kasi tough love sa bahay eh. Bawal yung iiyak-iyak, bawal yung talagang, oh, inaway ka. Ay bakit? Hindi ba totoo? Kulot ka naman, di ba? Negra ka naman, di ba? I mean, you face your truth and you deal with it. And then I think it was also cartoons that really helped me like cope and having just really a sense of humor because you really can't take life seriously. And for me, parang somebody told me this in the past na parang life is really going to be unfair no matter what. But the only way to deal with this is like how you see things and how you deal with it after all the challenges. And like for me, totoo nga naman, like I could stay sad the next few months because I only won first runner up, or I could look at it, girl, first runner up. Like you
Yes.
have to stay positive. You really can't think. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Umiyak ako kayo ng umaga. Like my goal every day is to stay
Oo
strong
nga,
and not
nakita ko yung
cry.
IG story mo eh. Parang,
And I think it's just part of it, and just like seeing people like telling me that it's okay to cry. I know how you're feeling, and like in my head, do you really know? First, naging first time, but then in my head, Nikita, kalma lang. And then which is true. Like sometimes you just have to feel your emotions. It's a process of moving on. Like acknowledge acknowledge what you're feeling, and then slowly release it, and then just don't let yourself go though. So I've been eating ice cream, Cheetos. It's just been like, watching TV. Iyak dito, iyak dyan, tulog onte, gising ng mga 4 a.m., ganyan. But yeah, I just try to stay as positive as I can because there's no other way. Yeah, there's really no other way.
yeah. And alam mo yon, kahit na you were stuck with such huge um, odds na talagang you wouldn't be able to make it, you still persevere, diba? And one of the things that I
Yes.
really love about your showmanship during the competition was your gown. Eto, wait, let me show you lang. Di- ay, ang ganda talaga ng styling mo nung pageant night. I mean, naka-updo hair ka and look at even the gown, the color pa lang alone, 'di ba? Jumps out of your skin tone. Who made this gown? Ang ganda. Is it Filipino
Oh,
inspired?
yes. The gown was made by VJ Floresca. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I mean, it was crazy too because before we ended up with that, because it's a custom gown, before we ended up with that design, with that fabric, we did a lot of brainstorming. Like she asked, what was my favorite color, what color I wanted to wear, what color I felt beautiful in, and then if I have like gown inspiration. And originally, I wanted to wear a turtleneck gown, but
Turtleneck.
then
Oh,
yes, because I don't know, for some reason I just feel like so regal in turtleneck. But like of course, with other opinions and perspective, they were like, "Girl, hindi mahaba, hindi ganun kahaba yung torso mo. Like you have to have like your upper body have to be super long for turtleneck, and like proportionate naman yung katawan ko, but like they were just like, maybe try something else. And I actually wasn't really a big fan of V-front kasi sabi ko, yung jogging, kailangan ng support, hindi pwede ang V-front. Ayoko niyan. Kaya turtleneck din siguro. Pa-conservative. And then she had her sketches. I sent my inspirations. We kept talking. And then we were watching like pageants, like Miss South Africa, Miss Universe Philippines. It's all other things that was going in between while we were trying to decide what was the
I'll
final
decide
gown.
which to wear.
Yes. And then she made 3 different sketches, and then we just continued brainstorming, but I gave her 100% creative freedom because I was like, I know how you work. I've seen your work. I've modeled your work a million times. And I was like, I'll let you decide because I know. Iba kasi ang vision ng mga designers eh. Sometimes there are things that they see that parang ako, sure ka ba, V. Francis? Tapos may slit. Parang ayaw ko. Tapos, when she started explaining, I was just like, you know what? Just trust the process. Go lang. And then, after we were able to kind of decide with the design, she got like a swatch for the materials. So our color options were yellow gold, rose gold, and orange. Tapos, so nakita ko na yung swatch, I was just like, cute ng rose gold pero parang hindi eh. And then I was like, liquid, gusto ko gold. Pero after seeing Eliza in MUP with the solid gold gown, sabi ko,
yung liquid yung type.
girl, pag nag-gold ka, ganun dapat na gold. So sabi ko, hindi na lang, wag na. And then the orange one was like my last choice. Pero nasa isip ko, medyo risky tong kulay na to So I don't know. So I was just like, you know what? Last year, all in, bahala na si Batman, go with orange. So she did the orange. She liked the orange too. And then, sabi ko, so we have to match the design with the textile or the textile with the design, vice versa. And then it worked out. Tapos at some point, naging iba pa yung design. Parang gagawin sana naming spaghetti strap. Tapos medyo, pinag-isipan ko yun eh. Ilang araw ko yung inisip talaga, spaghetti strap. No, V-front na. V-front, low back, bahala na si Batman. And then she got, V-front, low back.
Ibigay mo na yung kaluluwa mo literally. Last try mo
na. Rivera ang peg. Yun talaga ang peg. Miss Puerto Rico. 2006 ba yun? Something. Anyway,
2006, yes.
Yeah, 2006. So that was actually the very specific inspiration or that we got it from. So, the front slit, tapos middle slit. Tapos naisip ni VJ, alam mo, parang maganda din walang slit kasi nakakahaba lang. And then, everyone will be doing slit because Catriona really made a mark with a high slit. So lahat, true enough, if you do watch the rest of my pageant, and a lot of pageants, ang daming slit. So parang ako, girl, mag-low back at V-front ka na, daanin sa likod at boobs. So that's what we did. And I was just like, you know what, Mars, feeling ko V-front, low back, sold. And then she got the textile. She sent it to me and I was just like, ay, panalo, maganda to on stage kasi sabi ko makinang. So it's so weird seeing like an inch swatch to like a whole yard of fabric. So parang biglang sabi ko, ay iba, ito na yun. Ito na talaga.
Yes.
Tinatawag na ako ni Lord. The gates of heaven are opening up. Ganon.
That was the moment for you.
Yes. And in terms of fit, she wasn't able to fit me like in person first bago ko sinukat physically yung damit. So she just asked for like basic bust, chest, waist, and hips in seam. And then when I went to California to actually fit in person, fits like a glove right away. She just knows how to make a dress for women and just like fit. Ay, perfect. Parang ako yung na-pressure bigla na parang yung damit ko ready na. Ako ready ba? Parang, wag ka nang kumain. Just sobrang hapit sa katawan. Tapos parang ako, I got super conscious because I was like, she's parang kahit tubig bawal. Ganun siya kakapit.
Kapit, ka-figure hugging.
And then, obviously, we took photos and videos after fitting just to see. Na-conscious ako kasi parang may bilbil pa ako noon eh. Tapos parang, girl, wag ka nang huminga. Wag ka na din kumain ng mga 10 taon. And then I was just so excited after fitting the dress because I was just like, oh my God, it's coming to life. And it's, sabi pa nga ng best friend ko, it's like you in a dress. Talagang, if you wear a dress, that would be the dress, Simple and just like enigmatic. Yun na yun. Like, wala masyadong ganap. Walang train, walang slit, walang extra.
Walang distraction.
Wala! Yeah. And it was like shiny but not crazy, Walang pa-beads si Mayor, sequence lang, ganun lang. It was so light, it was so easy to walk in na parang, it was like not wearing anything except Spanx underneath at walang hingahan ng mga isang oras on stage. Ganun. Kahit nung Q&A, walang hingahan. Sabi ko, bawal lumabas yan, girl.
Alam mo, natutuwa ako sa mga kwento mo kasi talaga you made sure na talaga you really did everything you could to win the title. Talaga you left no stones unturned. So, looking back, having almost won the title, do you have any regret or wish you did something that you could have probably won you the title?
Well, I always think of that. But like for this year, 0% regrets. Wala. as I always say, you could be the most prepared girl, the smartest, the prettiest. But if it's not meant for you, it's not going to happen. And I think that's what kind of messes up my brain because I see that all the time. Na parang, if it's for you, no way in a million years someone will take it. Madapa ka man sa stage, tumambling ka man sa stage, mabutas man ang gown mo sa stage or whatsoever. Like if you're meant to happen, you're gonna win. So walang regrets talaga. I think my only regret was not being this level the first year and last year. So
Mm,
imagine if I was already this level or
of
this, I was already in this caliber.
competitive.
Yes. The first year and especially last year, it would have been a different scenario. But
Made a
then
difference.
again, yeah, things happen for a reason. And yun na nga, kung destiny mo talaga, wala ka nang magagawa doon. Like, Gloria Diaz, pageants are 99% luck. If the stars
Mm.
happen to align that day, good for you, my dear. So, ayun.
So,
Sayang.
pero no worries, no. Pero you can always go back to the modeling industry, 'di ba? How did you nurture this dream of becoming a beauty queen? Kasi you started out as a model before, 'di ba? Under
Mm-hmm.